Hello, everybody. This is Greg Giglio with the Friday the 13th version of the weekly video message, Lucky Friday the 13th. I think that's the first one we've had all year that's been on a 13th. But anyway, we are talking about Fridays. We're getting down to the end of the year. There are just, after today, there's just 2 more Fridays left. But if you're a senior, there's just 1 more Friday left as they are done with classes on Thursday the 26th. They do come back, though, to check out on the 27th. So it's kind of a Friday for them, but really their last instructional one. So they're down to the end here. So very close to the end of the year. So here we go, though, with our messages and stuff. So this week, a couple of shout outs and recognitions. First one was for Rita Figueroa, who was our attendance clerk. Has made this year's difficult transition back to in-person learning so much easier with her understanding, non-judgmental approach. We love having Rita up here. She's super fun and really great to work with. So glad to see that other folks appreciate her as well. Also a shout out for one of our math teachers, Rohan Prakash. And they quoted, "He does an amazing job of helping kids become self-reliant and responsible for maximizing their learning." The third one is for Dr. Trudy Gross, and I had to add in the PTSA because they're the actual ones who organize it. But for Dr. Trudy Gross, who's one of our cabinet members and the assistant superintendent, and the PTSA for organizing the viewing of the documentary Try Harder, which also included the panel discussion. Homestead should have more of these types of programs. It was especially timely because May is AANHPI Heritage Month. Thank you. This program was excellent and breaks ground for further discussion. Totally agree. Really appreciate the guest speakers and different opportunities that PTSA has given us. I'd like to thank Dr. Gross for taking part in that and helping lead the conversation as well. So that takes us, though, to our questions and concerns. So first one, given the uptick of COVID cases now, can Homestead require that all students wear masks again, at least when indoors? And this one, you know what? I originally wrote this one because I was thinking it said senior ball, but now that I'm reading it again, I don't see that it says that on there. I think maybe I messed that up. Anyway, right now we cannot, whether it's senior ball or whether it is school, we cannot wear masks. We can't require that people wear masks. We are definitely strongly recommending them. And if you look around, if you look at the staff, if you look at students, most people are wearing them, even when they're outside, even when they're walking to and from school. So again, anecdotally, lots of people still wearing masks. But we follow what the county puts out there. And right now the county is not requiring, the county is recommending, strongly recommending. So we continue to do that. We also, and again, I thought this said senior ball in there. I might be and losing my mind here at the end of the year. But in regards to senior ball, we can't require that they wear it there either. But we do encourage staff and students to test before they go, just to make sure that they aren't positive before they end up there. And if they are not feeling well, I know it'd be a bummer, but please do not attend. Just like school, we really want folks to stay home if they're not feeling well. And know that we did not have any issues from junior prom when we did do that. So we didn't see any upticks there. Seen a slight uptick in terms of the numbers here. I think we kind of doubled our number, which we went from like 6 to 11, which is still not huge considering where we've been at times with different surges, but again, can't require, but we definitely recommend. And I wear my mask all the time, so I hope others do too. What is the senior celebration? Are all seniors invited? I don't have a senior and was wondering what it is and how to be a part of it. So yes, this is the thing that I described. It used to be called the baccalaureate. And again, baccalaureate, though, and the original meaning is that it was a graduation mass, a religious ceremony. It's not a religious ceremony. It is open to every single senior, though. You do not have to be graduating. But as long as you're part of that graduating class or that senior class, you are open to come. They get to wear their cap and gown to that. It's kind of a little bit more informal, but they at least wear that. Mostly there's a bunch of student performances and speeches by staff and students. So it definitely is a fun, kind of relaxed, one of the last big things that the class gets to do together. And so it's really a lot of fun. We do mean it to be a little bit more of an intimate event. It's on campus, it's in the field house. And really, we can't fit 1 million people in there, obviously, but really we just ask parents and students come. But again, if you're a junior or below, please don't come because you're not going to be able to participate in it. But this really is a ceremony or show for the seniors themselves and their parents. But it's a lot of fun. So when your student is a senior, please come. It's one of my favorite events of the year. Another question was, if we need to speak to a Homestead staff person over the summer, how do we do that? Or is no one available at all over the summer? Well, there's a little bit of both. Our teaching staff, our classified and teaching staff, are done with the school year as of Friday, June 3rd. So they come to school on that day, even though students aren't here. It's our last day to do work. They then go away for the summer, and there really is no expectation that they are responding to emails or communication. So you can send an email to them, but again, they may be traveling, they may be involved in other learning that they're doing, they may be just checking out and not trying to de-stress a little bit, so they may not be looking at their emails, and there is no expectation that they do so. So if you do need to get a hold of a teacher, you might be wise to then also CC an administrator, because the office is open until the end of June, and there's a bunch of, not a bunch, but several of us administrators will be around, as well as some select office staff. So we can assist you if you come in and ask for questions. We can kind of direct you in the right place. We then close basically for the month of July. We're going to open up right at the end of it. But again, just realize that the month of July, we're pretty much closed. And so there are some programs on campus. There'll be some summer school programs, some other things happening, like a children's sports camp. So there's custodial staff and that kind of stuff here. But really, in terms of official school business, there's really nothing going on here. You are welcome to email me throughout the summer. I will admit, though, in July, I'm a little slower than I am in normal times to respond. But again, I will try and get to you. But we are technically closed in July. The district office, though, is always open. So if you come to Homestead, you need an answer, and there's nobody here, and you're not getting a response, please go to the district office, and they can try and track things down that way. So they are also there and available to help. But again, if it can hold off till August, then that's probably a better bet. That's when we come back and get opened up for business. So happy to help you then. But really, yeah, teachers gone in first week of June. Some administrators and some office staff are here until the end of June, and then closed for July, back in August. So again, we need our rest just as much as you do. So hopefully that all works out. This person said, I heard many teachers and administrators, Polly Bovey, Mr. Burrows, etc., are retiring. It's not many, it's a couple. I'll list that down here in a bit. But how can we honor them? Can there be some kind of info center or use of social media provide appreciation of them? And how will you inform us of their replacements? Can HHS provide a posting of new teachers and administrators coming to the 22-23 school year? Yeah, so absolutely. So here are our retirees and our folks that are moving on. We have 3 retirees from this year. One is Mr. Burrows, who is a math teacher. One is Mr. Wright, who is our assistant principal, one of our assistant principals. And then we had Margie Fisher, who was a senior clerical in our resource department. She retired in November. Those are our big 3 retirees, though. We do have some folks that are leaving us for other opportunities and things that are going on. One is Adam Berman, who is a instructional aide in the resource department. The other is Mr. Carangella, who is one of our Spanish teachers. Mrs. Morrison is also, she was on leave for the second half of this year, and she will not be returning next year. Cody Owens, who is one of our social studies teacher and former AD, he is also moving on, as is Theo Pappas, who is a teacher in our ACT program. I do put this list on my my principal's message. So actually, if you go to the website now, you should be able to go to the principal's message and see that. I also list that Polly Bovey is retiring in there as well, too, because she has a little Homestead connection. She started in the district at Homestead, so we can claim her as one of our own. And then actually, I will also then do another list, and when we return in the end of July, beginning of August, that talks about who our new staff members are, all that kind of stuff. I can tell you that for Polly Bovey, our superintendent, the replacement was just named, and it's Graham Clark, who was this associate superintendent. That name might sound familiar to some of you because Mr. Clark was a principal here just prior to my returning, prior to my coming. He was principal from 2003 to 2012. So again, another Homestead connection there at the top position. So glad to see Homestead greatly represented all throughout the district. But there are lots of different times where we do celebrations. We honor these folks at our, like the retirees at our site board meeting. We're going to do so as well at our end of year staff meeting. There people are having retirement parties. If you wish to send them your thank yous or whatever, you can definitely email them or send them a card, and we'll make sure they get it. But again, these are the folks who we know at this point, as of Friday, May 13th, that are leaving. Again, as other ones pop up, we'll let you know. But actually, there's a small number of folks leaving this year compared to previous years. So not a huge number of turnover. This was a longer one, so I figured I'd put the whole question on here to kind of go over it. But during last week's AP stats exam, I was told that the students reported to the large gym at 11:30 and there was a lot of delays and confusion. Not so much, but I'll explain what it was. Test did not start until 12:30, and the students were not released until 4:30. That's 5-hour test sitting without lunch. I understand that there is a 15-minute brunch before at 11:30, but I do not think that is sufficient for 5-hour exam sitting after. Again, they weren't sitting for 5 hours, but let me explain what was going on. I know that the first week of AP exams is over, but there are still, and actually the second week it's just ended too. A few more AP exams next week, meaning this week, with the 11:30 a.m. start time. I don't know what could be done to improve the timing, but I just wanted to make the school aware of the situation. So we're definitely aware of it too. But understand that the times where the tests are being given are actually just designated to us by this college board. We can't, they say 12:30, we can't do it at 12 or at 1. It has to be exactly the same time. They do it all around the country that way. What we do though is we do open up an hour early, because it does take a while, because we have to have every student come through. We have to check their IDs. We have to get them in the right spots. We have to read them instructions, pass out their materials. The instructions themselves can sometimes take 20 to 30 minutes, depending on which particular test it is. And in some cases, there's like 150 or more students that are enrolled in that test or testing. Some of our tests are really small, so it may not take the whole hour to get it going. But in some of those, we are using every single second of that 1 hour before the test starts. All the tests are 3 hours in length. That's so no matter what, from here on out, when you're doing an AP test, you should just know that the actual test itself is 3 hours. There is a break midway through, as the person before just mentioned. There is an announcement to make sure you bring snacks, something to eat before the test, that kind of thing. So they definitely are given that kind of warning. Our teachers tell them about that. Our proctors talk about that. And then there also needs to be time at the end when it's done to collect, count, and account for all the test materials. Because if anything's missing, if anything's gone, that can invalidate all 150 tests that are out there. So it is a very much an orchestrated and detail-oriented operation. So yes, it did take a long time. They were not sitting in one spot for 5 hours without moving. It wasn't a delay and a confusion. It was actually answering questions, getting things taken together, then the test, then the end part. So again, whether it started at 7:30 in the morning or 11:30, all of those still had those same kind of timing. So just know that it's a huge undertaking. And again, I want to thank Mr. Dong, Brian Dong, and Miss Liz Angel, who are our main administrators of the test. I want to thank all the proctors, and we have hundreds of proctors that come in and help us out. I want to thank all the students for being great, for doing what they need to do, for all the teachers who help prepare them. It is a stressful time. And I'm sorry that maybe the person who wrote that question didn't quite know some of the layout of what it was, but that's actually orchestrated in the way it's supposed to be, and it's the way it's done at every single school in the US. So there really isn't any other way to do it. So it is a long, grueling kind of thing, but again, I think our kids are usually pretty successful. So I think it's usually a pretty good way to show what they can do. Along with the AP testing, there was a question about, can the school excuse students on AP test day since it is such a long day? And that would be lovely, but the only people that can do that are you, the parents and guardians. School cannot excuse. Now, we may suspend a kid or say they can't be in class time. That's a difference than saying my kid to be excused during a class period. The state of California, though, does provide us, and I think I've talked about this in earlier ones, but does provide very specific criteria in terms of what is considered an excused absence. I will tell you in this case, saying my kid needs to take a long AP test is not an allowable excuse. So if you call in and say, I'm going to excuse my kid for, because they're going to be testing today, so I want them to stay home and rest, perfectly fine that you do that. But know that we have to list that as an unexcused but verified absence. And verified means that the parent called us. We know the reason why the kid is not there. It doesn't go with the state of California, but we know that it's not a cut, right? They're not just hanging out at the beach or going to McDonald's or whatever. So it is a legitimate thing. So that's important. So again, please letting us know that what it is, and if it's not verified and it's unexcused, then there can be some problems in their classes because the teachers don't have to allow them to make up work. But if it is at least verified, they'll definitely try and work. So, but I would definitely make sure that your student is talking to your parent, to the teacher, saying, "Hey, I've got AP test 11:30. I'm going to take the morning. My parents going to give me the morning off so I can study or so I can rest or whatever." Again, I don't suggest that everybody do that, but if that's something that you are going to do, that you let the teacher know, so in case there's something important going on at that time, they won't miss it or be without it. So so there you go. So no, we cannot excuse them, but you can excuse them. It would only be listed as an unexcused but verified absence. And that brings us to our important dates. Again, nothing new and surprising here. Pretty much had these up for the last few times. But we do have a PTSA general meeting coming up on the 18th. We also have senior ball happening right after that. Then the week of the 23rd, those are our senior finals. It's a regular schedule. Regular schedule. There's a couple of shifts in days, but our actual regular finals start on the 27th. So that's when a new schedule kind of happens. But seniors, like I was saying at the beginning, seniors are done with school on May 26th, but they do return on the 27th to check out. And so again, you can see some of these other celebrations are going on. Senior awards coming up, senior celebration, graduation at 5 p.m. So you've heard me talk about that, but just also so you know, COVID testing is going to be on site Monday, the 23rd. Again, it's other sites throughout the week, and they've gone to a little bit more sporadic testing where they're doing testings on Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays, and they're rotating all the sites. But those you can find that information on our website. So anyway, wanted to thank you for staying with us on this one. We just have a couple more of these announcements to go. And then we'll be all off for the summer. So thank you. Keep sending in your shout outs, your questions, your comments, and we will continue to try and put them up here and answer those questions. So thanks a lot. Hope you've had a lucky Friday the 13th and a restful weekend. So take care and talk to you soon.